So I do speak to quite a few people over the years in Wakefield. Um, Very kind of different stories. All kinds of aspects of the life and times of Paul Sykes. And so I was speaking to a gentleman the other day, and he proceeded to tell me about the time when he did community service with Sykes. I think it was about the early 90s. Um, he, he, I think it was a Sunday, so I think community service is like 10 till 4 on a Sunday. Um, what do people do with community service? You know, cut grass, it's basically the courts of, it's when you're lucky enough to not go, well, saying that, I know some people who would probably rather do the prison, particularly if you get a lot of hours. Um, And yeah, they kind of go around the community, cleaning things with toothbrushes, painting things, general maintenance, and giving back to society. And he told me his experiences of doing community service with Paul. So he said he used to get in the van at 10 o'clock on a morning, absolutely steaming. He'd bring a crate of beer, which was usually Carlsberg Special Brew. Back in that time, Carlsberg Special Brew was 9%. These days, I think Kestrel's 9%, but Carlsberg Special Brew is 7.5 today for well, not for medical reasons. It's rocker fuel, to be honest. It's when people who drink that, they don't really get hangovers because they're permanently drunk. It's basically 2 pints, 2 cans to 1 can. It's actually not. It's quite nice. I do actually admit I have a bit of a liking for it. I started having. Well, I don't drink these days, but years ago I did used to have the odd couple of cans, and when I was researching the life and times of Paul Sykes. So yeah, he used to get in every Sunday, 10 o'clock, already half baked, and he'd have a case of Carlsberg Special Brew or Tennant Special Brew, and he basically his job for the day was to sit in the van drinking, not doing any work, and telling stories, telling life stories like a storyteller, and the authorities were happy for him to do that. There were everyone was kind of working around, and he was just basically there to provide the entertainment. As you can imagine, probably not a lot of people wanted him to pick him up on, Paul, there's a spade, go dig them bushes out. So his kind of debt to society was sitting in a van drinking and telling stories. And I asked him, and I said, well, he said, obviously they were scared of him, but he said, you know what? He said he just told stories, unbelievable stories all day about places around the world and faces he'd met and people in prison, and that was his community service. True story, absolutely true story. And he said every single time he got in the van, he said that just played out, and never did any work other than sit and drink and tell stories, and that was Paul Sykes' community service.